Hey y'all, just a quick video here. It's Monday the 20th. We've got 4 days to get the car finished, to packed up, and to go to MIS to do our testing, racing, whatever you want to call it. And no time for lunch. We're taking a break, a little coffee and some pretzels. That's our lunch today. We're coming to you from Braden, Little Braden's workbench. It's about the only place that doesn't have stuff absolutely covered. The place is a mess, but I wanted to bring you a little video. Little project I'm working on right now is the fresh air duct, right, for the ignition stator. Trying to run some fresh air down here, which well, I showed you if you watch some other videos. It's tight. It's tight down underneath there. There's not a lot of room to do much of anything. But you also can't just run any old tube down there and call it good. I mean, if we used to put, say, a inch and a quarter, inch and a half, 2-inch piece of PVC, you know, like I was thinking, with the little elbows and stuff as scoops and what have you, will it get some air down there? Yeah, it'll get some air down there. Will it get enough air? We don't want to spend 3 years and making 25 more videos like we have with the radiator, trying to get the water cooled off to get enough air to the ignition. So we're going big the first time. And the funny thing is, what I'm doing and what I'm using reminds me of when I was a little kid. I guess I've always been a model maker. I never really realized it until now, but I remember when I was 8-10 years old, took my bicycle apart. Back in those days, you didn't get a new bicycle. You hand-me-down from your older brother. When he got something new, you got something handed down. I got this bike from, I think, from Richard. It was red. I think red is Richie's favorite color, and I remember tearing it down, tearing it all apart with Dad's tools while he was at work, which was a no-no, and hanging it up in the basement and spray bombing that thing, sanding it and spray bombing it yellow. And my dad was impressed when he got home. He's like, "Hey, what happened to that bike?" You know, and I said, "This is the bike." And then he looked at it and he was blown away. He's like, "You tore this thing all down and painted it up?" And I said, "Yeah," until he saw all the yellow overspray in the basement and all over the walls. Then he lost his mind. And he was mad as hell and whooped my rear end pretty good for spray painting in the house. But back in those days, back even before then, maybe, you know, at 7, 8, 9, 10 years old, some of you old guys will remember this. Milk jugs used to be cartons, paper cartons, and they were rectangles or squares. A gallon was big, you know, but a half gallon was about this size, right? You know, but paper. And back in those days, you had paneling on the walls in your bedroom. You had those little shelves with the metal brackets, right, with the little, you know what I'm talking about, guys? So we had, and me and Richard, at that time, before I was old enough, it was in a model building club. You know, that's what you did. You build little hot rods, race cars, whatever, helicopters, airplanes, and you set them on the shelf. And kept us out of trouble. That's what kids did back then. We didn't play video games. We didn't have video games, right? So I would take, as a kid, I'd take all the paper towel rolls and toilet paper rolls and the milk jugs, especially the half-gallon jugs, and I would make models of engines, go-kart engines. I'd use the half-gallon jug as the barrel, right? And I'd cut pieces of cardboard to make the fins, and then make the head fin. Back in those days, the motor was the B-bomb or the K88, so it was, you know, relatively easy to replicate as a kid, right? Then you made the pipe and stuff out of paper towel roll, toilet paper roll, and then we got, you know, as I got older, it got more detailed. You'd actually learn how to roll cones, right? Stiff cardboard, and make the pipes blimpy, and you'd spray paint this stuff. And my dad was blown away. He was like, "Man, that's, you know, goofy. You're a goofy kid, but that's pretty cool what you're doing there." So I guess I've always had this gift, right? I didn't go to school to learn to be a model maker or to be a pattern maker or any of that. I told John West, John, Bless you, brother. Glad to hear things are going well, selling trucks. Well, record year for John. Congratulations, buddy. I told John when I built that 600 little super cart for him, he wanted me to make the body, and he said, do you know what you want to do? I said, yeah, I already know what it looks like. I mean, in my mind, I already knew what it looked like. And when you have point A and point B, and building something from A to B, to me is relatively easy. I mean, it doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure that kind of stuff out. But to come up with something just from a picture in your mind of what it looks like and start making it is really a gift, and it's exciting to exercise that muscle upstairs. It's kind of like the go-kart racing thing. What the most exciting part about go-kart racing isn't top speed. It isn't trophies, it isn't winter races, none of that. It's getting to play the chess game. It doesn't matter if you're racing for 9th and 10th. You racing with this guy, you two are absolutely evenly matched. Maybe you got a little more top speed and he's a little better off a corner. And you get to play the chess game, right? You watch the clock, you tick-tock. You're asking the pit guy how much time. You're trying to figure out when to make the move and all that kind of stuff. That's what it's all about. It doesn't make trophies mean nothing. It's pointless, meaningless. If you can play the game and sometimes you win, sometimes you lose. I've been on both ends of that, but it's not something that always falls into your lap. A lot of guys that poor folks like me will say, oh, that guy, he goes fast because he's rich. That's not always true. It's because they're gifted, or they do their homework, or whatever. But some of it might be that they can afford the best stuff. But I'd be interested to take somebody, if they were willing to do it at the racetrack, and just take a mid-pack Yamaha laydown guy and put him in Randy Falk's or Rick Falk's go-kart and make them drive the other guy's go-kart and see what would happen. Wouldn't that be interesting? That would be awesome. But I'm running on. Let me show you the project I got going and how it reminded me of that, building those milk jug engines and stuff. It's pretty cool. Sherry called me from work. She's having a Monday. I'm out here frustrated. I know what I want to do, but I don't have enough time to do it. I want to model everything up with clay and make molds and make it perfect, and I realize that we just don't have time, and this bodywork is not going to be around next year. We're going to have something new on it. So we need something nice, but quick and temporary. So she suggested using this stuff here. She works at that electrical contracting place where they do their own blueprints and stuff. They got a machine that makes prints. So they got millions of these tubes laying around, and lo and behold, it's pretty darn close to fitting perfect, So, of course, she suggests. I said, man, it's got to bend, it's got to move, and it's going to take all day. She said, don't you have one of those dryer vent things, out here? And I do. I got one here in the old cabinet. But it's too flimsy. It's too flimsy, and it's got all the ridges and bumps and stuff. Yeah, it'll work for your dryer, but we're trying to blow air down here to the ignition. So what we did is we started with our NACA duct, right? You have to get this hole dimension. So what we do is we cut a rough size piece of paper and tape it taut across here, and then we rub the pencil around the edge, and we get a line, we get a good fit, and then we transfer it to poster board. This is actually a cornflakes box, right? and we'll adjust it. If it's not right, we'll adjust it until it is right. We want it just a little bit smaller than this hole when this thing's mounted up, right? So then, of course, we can take this, knowing how much return flange we've got on that piece, and lay it out in here, and know that we need to angle it, but it needs to go around this bracket here and into here. So we've already cut out underneath here. We've made a little progress already. This thing going to go in here, and what we did is we got this piece is going to be the first bit. We've done quite a bit of chopping, a little angle grinding to it, and it's going to go underneath there. like so, and it's going to go right to the ignition, and then we've got a little piece here with a sharp angle on it. Sorry about that. And then, you know, we need to come up to the bottom of this thing here. So what we'll do is we'll get these 3 pieces that we've made here. We'll get them glued together, right? Well, I think it goes like this here. This has actually got an angle on it too, very fine little angle. We've already marked them. And then with this piece here, like so. So we'll glue them together, and not solid glue, just a couple little spots just to hold it together, so we can continue going from A to B and connecting the dots. And it might sound funky or weird or too hard to some people, but I'm a simple dude, man. I mean, this is nothing. We're just messing around. But the part that's really going to take the time, and it's going to kill me, because I like things to be right, is making the scoop for the top of here. We're not going to have the amount of time that I want to properly do that. So I'm going to have to settle, and it's not going to go over very well. So that's why I'm having my coffee, my pretzels, trying to calm down, sit at a braised little bench over here and collect myself. And then after I shut this thing off and I sip a little more coffee, we got to go to town. It's Monday. We get into modeling up a little something, and I'll show you the templating and modeling of that little scoop. It'll be a moldless composite. We'll make a little fiberglass piece that we're going to have to grind the outside, maybe spread a little Bondo. We'll just spray bomb it black just to get us there. But this is what we do, man. We play around with stuff like this. We can play around with stuff like this for you too. It's going to cost you, though. We don't do it for free. But for this is nice that we're able to do these kind of things ourselves. I couldn't imagine contracting this kind of stuff out to somebody, man. You'd be in the millions of dollars playing with go-karts. But that's it. That's all I got for you. Hope you find this stuff interesting, and I hope you watch some of the other stuff and the stuff that's to come. This is what we do. We play in a garage, and we use the gifts we've been given. Everybody's got them. You just got to find what it is and chase it down. God bless, folks.